What's up, everyone? Axel here of Axetruth.com, and this is where I cut through the bullshit. And right today, I'm doing a movie review of something I just watched the other day. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which Hollywood have done so many different type of reboots and sequels and prequels to this original horror classic that was done in the 70s. Now, I saw it later on after the release of it in the 70s. I didn't see it then, but I always thought the original was a really good movie. All video, sound, and music used in this broadcast falls under fair use. Fair use is allowed for the purpose of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe on copyright under 17 USC 107. But this movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's why I put Netflix. It's Netflix. Netflix, it was sold to Netflix that they had the rights to, I guess, put this movie onto their platform, their streaming platform. And I actually watched it the other day. And I watched the whole thing. And I can say that, wow. It's quite a piece of work. You find yourself, I watched it. I was smoking, so that kind of helped it to watch it. It was a Netflix, so of course, Netflix. You say, well, this is a horror movie. What could they do? What could go wrong with it? Of course, a lot of things can go wrong with Texas Chainsaw Massacre because of the fact that it's 50 years from the original, over 50 years from the original. And the characters, if you're still dealing with the original Leatherface, that would make him like 70-something years old, at the least, in his 70s, running around with a chainsaw, killing people. But this is Netflix. And so let's see, how can we start with the director? Now the person who wrote this, who wrote Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is the same writer for Don't Breathe 1 and 2. And if you saw Don't Breathe 1 and 2, they were really pretty good films. That's why I was kind of shocked to find out they have the same writers for this one. This was directed by David Blue Garcia, and so let's just start off with the cast. Let's go there. Here's the cast. Right here, the cast right here. Very, what we're looking at here. We see a very multicultural cast. Young, they brought it to, they did Texas Chainsaw Massacre as if it's today, like it's still going on. So that's how they brought it forward. So you have these a multicultural cast, mostly women and a black male. Now, y'all know, if you know the form of Netflix and how they how their movies are propagated. They have a lot of propaganda in their movies, but this movie they have it in here, and it starts out with it real. It starts off with it really early in it. You can see the propaganda in it, and that's why smoking and watching this makes it a whole lot better. It makes it a whole lot better if you smoke and you watch it. But first, let me just show you the main character. The main character, Sarah Yarkin, right here. Sarah Yarkin. This girl. She's the main character. Now, this girl is not cute. She's ugly. And but nevertheless, her acting is the acting in it was terrible. The writing was terrible. That's why I can't believe they have the same writers that were in the original in Don't Breathe 1 and 2. But Don't Breathe 1 and 2 that was a totally new type of horror genre that they did, horror flick. This is a remake, a reboot. And sometimes you just have to leave well enough alone. But she's the star of it. Her name is Melody. And back to the cast, right here you see, all right, so because, we have a mixed couple right here, the black guy and the blonde right here. She's his girlfriend. And they are some young influencers, and they're going to this town where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface, lives with his adoptive mother. In a old orphanage or something, rundown orphanage, and they're going to this town to re-gentrify it. It's like a town it's like a ghost town. No one really lives there. It's a ghost town. They go in there. These young influencers, social justice warriors. So this is what this is now. Young influencers, social justice warriors. We don't need no guns. Well, you need to work on save the planet because they had all that in there. They had all this in the script. Things of saying little things about doing things for carbon emissions. They had that going on. That's how you knew this was going to be trash. But it wasn't trash. I found myself cheering for Leatherface. So that's basically, you're going to find yourself, I found myself cheering for Leatherface. It was like, get him, cut him, get out you bring out your, that chainsaw and go to work. That's exactly what I was looking at when it came to this, when it came to watching this movie, because I mean it made it more. Yeah, this is a live review. This is a 60-minute live review. So I'm doing something different from politics. I'm doing a movie review. So I don't want to do, I don't want to talk about Ukraine. I ain't talking about none of that. I just kind of done with that right now. So I want to do this movie review. So if anyone wants to watch something and have some fun watching it, I'm gonna tell you how you watch this flick. You find yourself cheering for Leatherface because they start bringing in the propaganda early. Okay, first, in one of the scenes, this white man pulls up in a pickup truck. He has on his jeans. He has on his cap with an American flag. Patch right there on it. Of course, this is Neflix. This is what they do. He gets out the car and they say, "Ooh, look at him." Look at him for what? They just and he walks over to him and they introduces himself and then they drive off and then he drives down the street past them. They going into this town and it's just the stereotypical, he's this redneck white man and there's these young influencers from the city coming into this rural town that they're going to gentrify and have auction off this property that's there to people who are going to come in and revitalize it. Which, okay, I can deal with that. If that's what you're going to have, that's the premise you're going to have to the story. But no, but what you can tell it gets really, this is where you see more of this, you go like, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it didn't have any political messages in it, racial messages, but they had to put it in here. They had to do it. That's what Netflix does. They do it on everything. Demonize the white man. They're all racist, especially in the country. They're all rednecks. So when they get to this town, this refurbished, one of the buildings that they bought, it has a torn, basically Confederate flag hanging out of it. Typical liberal Hollywood garbage, and he says, "Look at that. No one's gonna buy anything here if we don't get that flag down from there. Well, you're gonna be cleaning up the place. You're gonna redo it, so of course you're gonna get the flag down. So why make this flag into something? Oh, it's such a bad thing." So the black guy goes up and tries to reach out the window to get the flag, but he couldn't get the flag out. So that was one of the scenes. He went all the way upstairs into the back, reached out through the window to try to get this flag. He couldn't get the flag. But it was the thing, get this flag. Okay, so, well, nevertheless, they go into this house, and they go into the house, and this is the house where Leatherface actually lives and resides with his adoptive, mother. This 70-year-old Leatherface who with chainsaw, he's lived with his mother. His mother comes out and she says, "What are you doing in our house?" Well, she ended up having like a panic attack or whatever and has a heart attack. So I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. I am going to tell you the ending of this movie and everything, but in this review. But I still, if you want to enjoy it and watch it for kicks, shits and giggles and laugh, because my thing was, I'm rooting for Leatherface to kill the SJW libtards that are in this movie, because that's all it was. That's what it was. It was SJW libtards that were in the movie, and then you have Leatherface. So you can kind of enjoy that part of it. But anyway, so Leatherface, you said Leatherface is one of your favorite. I mean, the original movie is classic. You can watch it today. Sally Hardesty who played in the original. This is from the original movie. You know, she survived at the end. You know, she got on the back of the truck and he was in the middle of the street with the chainsaw, so she survived. But and obviously they bring her back in this movie. So they kind of like mixed. They bring her back. She's on the quest to kill Leatherface. So they kind of bring in. That's why you see in my thumbnail I have um, from Halloween. They didn't put Michael Myers. They took from Halloween. They kind of meshed it all together. Bring her back, and she looks like the woman who plays this part. We comes back to hunt down Leatherface. We call her Tranny Lee Curtis. They brought in Tranny Lee Curtis, who plays Sally Hardesty, who's dead. Sally Hardesty, well, the woman who plays Sally Hardesty is dead. She died at age 65 in 2014, I believe. But they brought her back to hunt down. She's on this quest to kill Leatherface. You know, so that's part of the story. Now, I'm gonna play the trailer so you can watch the trailer before I get more into this review to tell you about how the typical Netflix things that they put in these movies. That's why I was smoking and watching it, so I found it very comical to watch. So I was able to watch the whole thing. It was very, very gory. But when you have bad writing and bad writing and bad actors, the characters aren't interesting at all. You're gonna have what do? You turn up the gore meter, and you turn up the CGI. It's CGI gore, CGI blood. It's everywhere. Just CGI. But they needed it. The movie needed it. But let's watch the trailer, shall we? Now that's the blonde girlfriend of the black dude that's in the show. Now, just to let you know where she's at, that they actually, after the woman has a heart attack, the Leatherface's mother has a heart attack because they're in her house and trying to remove her from the house. She has a heart attack and she gets in the paramedic into the paramedics. They get in the back of the paramedic and she rides with the paramedics to take her to the hospital, and but she eventually dies. And Leatherface is in there when his mom dies, and he kills the paramedic, and they wreck the car, and then he kills the blonde chick.
So Harlow is a ghost town.
We have a vision for this place. All it needs is young blood.
I don't want to live here. This is a chance for people to start fresh somewhere safe. Hey guys, you should see this.
What are you doing in our house? You really shouldn't be here.
This is Hardesty.
Sally? I'm afraid your old friend's back.
Ooh.
50 years.
Here comes
I've been waiting for this
Tranny Lee
night.
Curtis.
Just to see him again.
Yes. Halloween, same Halloween thing.
Leatherface. Looks like it's you that he wants.
I'm not gonna let him kill you.
Fear no evil. Fear no evil.
Try anything you can cancel, bro.
I had to stop it there for a minute so y'all can see this scene right here. This is when he gets on the bus. This is one of my favorite scenes in it because he gets on the bus. This female, Sarah Yarkin, who plays the star of the movie, basically. She's running with the other female. This other female that's in the movie. I think she's a lesbian. I'm not really sure. Probably non-binary, one of them. And they're the two surviving running, and she's covered in sewage because a pipe burst and shit went all over her. And they run up on this bus, this party bus, with these kids who are in this town to buy the property. And Leatherface gets on there with the chainsaw, and then they brings out their cell phones to say he's canceled. He's gonna get canceled, and he's gonna show them what he cares about being canceled. And that's what makes it great, because he goes to slicing up everyone with the chainsaw on the bus.
Try anything and cancel, bro.
Oh, yes, Richard, you said that's too stupid. It is stupid. I mean, the only way you can make it through it is if you're drinking or smoking. You can watch it, and then you find yourself cheering for Leatherface. I was cheering for Leatherface. I was like, it was like, bring on Leatherface, kill him. Because it was like they put in the propaganda. They had the white man that I told you they had the American flag that was supposed to have been this typical, old redneck white dude, and here are these gentrifiers coming into the town, and he doesn't really take kind to them or whatever because of what they're doing. He said, well, whatever. He told them what they're doing, and he said, so you are like a what? And he said, well, it's like a cult. He called them a cult. And that's what it is. These SJWs, social media influencers, that's buying this property, coming into this town, Apollo, to reinvigorate it. And then they go into this home, and they tell them that they own the house, and tell the woman she doesn't own it. And they try to get her out of the house, and that she kind of resists. They take her out of the house. The police come, take her out of the house, and then she ends up having a panic attack to where she gets into the paramedics. And Leatherface gets back there with her, and she ends up dying on the way en route. But the blonde chick, or the black dude, wants to ride with him to make sure she's okay. They don't. This woman, we don't know if we really have the deed. See, they wasn't sure if they had the deed to the house, or did she still own it. Well, come to find out, she really still owned the house. She was right. So when she dies, Leatherface goes off, and he kills everybody in the van, and then he kills the white girl. So then he goes back to the town, and he goes to work to kill the other cast. They only have now 3 more castmates. So I was watching the movie. Now this is an hour in, and I'm sitting here going, okay, we down to 3. What is this movie going to be about? I had a whole hour to go. I was like, what else is this going to be about? We have about an hour left of this film, and I'm going like, he's killed off the girlfriend, and then he came to the town, and then the black guy, he ran into the black guy, and he ended up chopping him with a cleaver right down his face and chopped him into his chest, and he died. Supposedly died. But no, he didn't. He woke up from that. He got chopped in the face. Listen here, he got chopped in the face, a big old gash in the face and in the shoulder right here. Somehow he was able to get up, stumble up, walk down the street. The movie is comical. The way they put this, he walked down the street all chopped up. I don't know what was he going to do. With this Leatherface on the run, just running around here, this maniac running around killing everybody. None of these liberals are armed. They don't have a gun. So, because they had all that in the script about no guns and all that going. See, they had all this propaganda in it. See, the shit doesn't make any sense. So she got onto the redneck about doing things to be more environmentally safe. Told him that he was doing something wrong with the environment. That was one of the signs that you saw, how they were just putting in this liberal talking points, this Green New Deal type of jargon. That makes you really get on the side of Leatherface. Get to killing them all. So the white dude, now the white dude who they make out to be this like just a typical redneck white dude, and of course Netflix, that's how their movies are. The white people are the villains. The black people are always good. All the minorities are good. The evil white man is the enemy. He's the cause of everything. Well, when Leatherface comes back to the town to try to, comes back to start killing everyone, he runs into the white guy. The white guy tries to defend, to protect the people, and he kills the white guy, and they kill the white guy very, 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 he crushes his head with a hammer. You can just see him it was just overkill. Just the way he killed him and everything. It was just, you could just see that's why they showed that part of it. You could see what is it? Well, how can I say it? It's the way Netflix do their films. How they just put all this out, how they propagate that, kill the white man, and how and he was trying to help actually save him and fight Leatherface, so killed him. Black guy got sliced down the face, and he walked down and stumbled down the street, and then he ended up dying again. And so we down to these last two characters. The last two characters on this show, which is you see right here on your left. You got Sally Yarkin, and then this other girl, I don't know, let me see what her name is, but she is, let's see, Lila. Her name is Elise Fisher. She plays Lila. So no, that's yeah, I guess that's her name. Yeah, but the black kid's name was Dante. That was his name. Dante was the black kid's name. And but it was down to these two characters. So you sit here and you watch this show, this movie, and you think, how are you going to stretch this out? Well, they stretched it out by bringing in Tranny Lee Curtis. Tranny Lee Curtis, that's what makes it, that's how they was able to draw this out. She comes back to help hunt down to get Leatherface from what he did 50 years ago. So if she was young when this happened. So this Leatherface dude is in his 70s. He's these 70-year-old chainsaw killers. So Tranny Lee Curtis comes back, and she gets into it with Leatherface, and he takes the chainsaw and he kind of cuts her and lifts her off the ground, cutting her with the chainsaw. Now, listen. A spoiler alert. He goes in, he cuts her up the middle up there, but then he pulls it out and she falls to the ground. And then he's going on to chase the other two. The other two cast members, Lila and Melody. Those two, Lila and Melody. I think gotta be. Let's see. Or is it Ruth? I don't even know what the girl's name is. But anyway, yeah. So she goes on to chase those two girls, and because he just cut up Tranny Lee Curtis. She should be dead. Well, they continue to they go to the bus, and then they get out the house and they run onto the bus, and that's where they get on the bus with the other influencers and people there, the young influencers, the other SJW social justice warrior liberals that are there to gentrify the town. So they come in, and he gets on the bus, and they takes his pictures, do a selfie of him. That was I guess a little bit of comic relief, and then Leatherface goes to chainsawing up the whole bus. Just chainsaw up the whole bus. It was just blood and guts and gore and CGI everything. Just that's all it was. It's just they had to do all that because the movie was that bad. You had bad acting, characters not interesting at all. It really but it was funny. I was cheering for Leatherface. So if you want to watch something and look at how. Leatherface, you cheer for Leatherface to kill these liberals. I'm going go ahead and kill them. Because, they don't believe in guns. If you had a gun, none of this would have been happening. No guns. We don't believe in guns. So there you go. You said you was watching the Hunt for Red October. Let's see. Turning Texas into San Fran shitholes one turd at a time. Yeah, it's like you could tell that's how they were trying to sell this movie as like this whole gentrificator, like going in, and it's nothing wrong with gentrifying something, making something old new, and I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, I really don't. I think that if it's run down, no one's doing anything, somebody got to do something. But they come in here with all their causes and then telling people about what they need to do to save the planet and all. They had all that kind of jargon in the script, which kind of wasn't needed. That's why I say this movie was just a typical Netflix movie. They have to put in political statements, and that's what messed it up. And I really feel bad for the writer and director, because Don't Breathe was actually good. Don't Breathe 1 and 2 was really good, and for him to have this on his resume now, he didn't do himself any favors with this, because this movie actually just was horrible on the merits of, from the original. You could just watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and get more out of that, because that made sense to this maniac that was killing innocent people who were just traveling on a summer trip. That's how the original movie was. Now you have these gentrifiers. Now I'm reading from Nerdist. They talk about what happened to Sally Hardesty in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Sally Hardesty, again, like I said, is the original. This girl right here, the original female that they bring back in here as Tranny Lee Curtis. And it says in the latest addition to a famous franchise, notably brings back the first film's final girl, Sally Hardesty. It's our first time truly seeing her since the 1974 original film. So it was in 74 when they originally did it. So and it says, who can forget her classic shot where she's in the back of the pickup truck covered in blood, delirious from terror? And that's how it ends. And then and it went well with the movie, But what made this movie just reek of just desperation was the fact that they used Halloween. They used the Halloween type theme, brought it in. It's like let's mesh it all together. Put in a lot of blood and guts and gore with a lot of CGI. Put all that in there, and then put a lot of blood, guts, and CGI. A lot of just crazy, just killing. Just have them kill everybody with this chainsaw. Have rain and everything. All the special effects. A lot of, you saw in the trailer, all that boom, boom, loud music. All that to try to make the movie seem good. So that is what these untalented new age writers and directors are doing when it comes to film. And obviously I just don't think they're looking at what made horror movies really good, and what made why you can watch old horror movies now and still get the same effect from them that they were when they originally came out. The Exorcist is one of them. I can't even watch The Exorcist, because unless I watch it in the daytime. And I'm talking about like 10 a.m. in the morning. Then I have a whole afternoon of things to do to get that out of my system, because that's a classic, real good horror flick that actually can scare you. You have also you have The Shining, Halloween, the original Friday the 13th, 1, 2, and 3. They were pretty good. But then now when they trying to instead of coming up with a whole new story, they could have did something in the fashion of a chainsaw killer, but why have it in Texas? Why do this? Why repeat what has been done and it was already done good the first time? If you're not going to make it better, they didn't make it better. The only thing they did was brought it into the new age of where we had people got cell phones, younger kids, and they do selfies and they're online and they're doing all that shit. That's the only thing they did. And just say, okay, we're going to take that story and put it here, and just mix in Halloween, have this survivor from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre to come back and try to hunt him down. Like she's going to kill him. But I can say that is how they introduce a gun into this social justice warrior liberal flick, because it takes a gun. Because she ends up this girl right here. Let me go ahead back to spoiler alert. Not the star of the movie, which is Sarah, the curly head bagel right there, right here. Now she doesn't kill him. It's the girl in back of her that kills him with a shotgun. You know, she she doesn't really kill him with a shotgun. She shoots the shotgun and it kind of stops him from killing. He kills this girl. She gets killed. The star, Sarah Yarkin gets killed. But spoiler alert, this is how corny it really gets. I guess the non-binary lesbian SJW warrior, whatever, who has the shotgun, who kind of shoots at Leatherface to stop him from getting her. She jumps in a car. Now, y'all, are you ready for this? She jumps in a car. You know how at the end of the original you have Sally Hardesty. She is on the back of a truck that she hitches on someone that was driving through. Well, there's a car there, which they should have just used their car the whole time. Why didn't you just go get in their car and just drive away? They got in the car, and it was one of those cars that are, I guess, these cars that drive by themselves. I don't know how many of you guys got cars that drives by themselves or plan on purchasing one. So she gets in and she programs it, and she gets on the back of the truck and on the back of the car. She's looking out of the sunroof at Leatherface as the car drives off with her covered in, I guess, some blood and rain and blood and rain, and the car is driving off by itself. So that's how they end the movie, with that. An automated car. And this SJW, the lone survivor, gets in it, programs it to escape the chainsaw wielding maniac. Wow. I feel bad for the guy who actually, did Don't Breathe 1 and 2 because of the fact that was, those were pretty good flicks. And then to turn around and put your, his name is Rondo Segues. Fende Alvarez and Rondo Segues. Fende Alvarez and Rondo Segues, who did Don't Breathe 1 and 2. And if you watch those movies, those are really pretty good flicks. Actually, they are two good movies. 1 and 2, the sequel is just as good as the first. And then he writes this. And he put this out here. You said those pronouns ruin a movie. Yeah, I guess because it's hard to differentiate what is that. Like I said, the girl who ends up surviving, I'm sure she was like one of them lesbian, non-binary type of people. Because she wasn't with a guy or nothing like that. And then you had the other girl who played the lead. This girl right here, basically, but he kills her at the end. She gets killed, so which is a good thing. But only one sole SJW survivor of this movie. But if you want to watch something and have something funny to laugh at, something to cheer for, I cheer for Leatherface. I watched the whole movie, but I just thought I'd do a review on it. But it's just a typical Netflix movie. And they got a hold of this franchise, and they were able to Netflix it up, because that's what they did. They Netflixed it up. And by Netflixing it up, that means they fucked it up. It's terrible, but it's funny because you get to see the way that I do like the way Leatherface kills some of these people. That's what made it funny, and you kind of like cheered for that. And that's what I found myself doing. So if you want to watch something for shits and giggles, watch this Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Neflix Chainsaw Massacre. I'm always saying Neflix Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Watch this right here. So put your comments below, share the video, subscribe to my channel. I want to do something different with 60 Minutes today. 60 Minutes can be anywhere between 30 minutes to 60 minutes. But I just wanted to review this Texas Chainsaw Massacre because I thought I was able to make it through it. But if you want to watch a movie and then push all this liberal garbage and see how it just doesn't work with the movie anyway. Shouldn't even be in it, but because there are no guns and all this, and then Leatherface, the only person with a weapon running around the film killing everyone. All you have is your bare hands, and you can't fight. You can't do anything. You have nothing for this man, and they keep they made this movie with them and their social justice were the liberal talking points, and then also the demonization of a white man once again, and the Confederate flag. They had to throw that in it, which that wasn't even needed either, but they had to put that in it too, so that to keep the racism alive for the race and the woke, because we had to get those Confederate flags out the way, because that's going to destroy everything. So I'll see you guys later. You guys have a great night. I'll be back with probably another 60 minutes later on. Peace out.
Media-driven fear that really is detrimental to one's health. I don't think we were supposed to watch television and take on all the problems of the world. I don't think the body's equipped for that. There should be just a day the TV just goes off. Maybe a week the TV just goes off. What's so bad about that?
Thoughtful, philosophical, his logic not always easy to follow, but in his words somewhere, there is always a lesson.
In time, we're going to find out that all of the media is a misconception.